brings us is that we have immigrants in our countries, and a lot of people don't like them because they think that they might cause troubles for our economies. But the solution they are coming up with is that these people will have to prove that they are actually good for our economics, right? We believe that this is a completely wrong approach. Why is that? Because the moment these immigrants will try and prove us that they are good for our economies, it might turn out that they are not that good for our economies. There will be immigrants who are not whose value of being in our country can't be measured by economical measures, and we believe that this what this would cause is very much more than harmful. Because what we would say by this, by having people proving us that they are beneficial for our economies, but turning out that maybe that mass immigrants are not that beneficial for our economies, is exactly that we tell these far-right extremists that yes, you were right, and these people should not come to our countries, and this is completely the opposite of what we want to reach. Now let me tell you what this will lead into. This will lead into a phenomenon where we have people coming to our countries or asking for residency, only those who feel and who are actually good for our economies, who can contribute to our economies. And who are these people? These people are not those undereducated people coming from say, developing countries, but rather those who have high education and who can take jobs and who can really contribute to our economies. Now, we believe that this is just completely wrong in two reasons. One, it commercializes human, and it commercializes how we see immigrants, and it's terrible. And second, it lacks all the emotional relations of the migrants to our countries. I'm going to talk both about this in detail. So what do we mean by commercializing human? Just as I mentioned, we can't always measure one's beneficial effects to our countries by economical measures. We can't say that it's good to have immigrants from a country. These immigrants will not necessarily take good jobs and pay taxes from the start because we can assume that they are coming to our countries because they want to reach a better life, because they want better education for their children, which they themselves might not have. And we believe that this, what this would cause is that these people won't be coming, and we just strengthen the ideas of these far-right activists. Yes.
Sure, but what we see is exactly that there's no actual basis for the welfare hog argument that these immigrants should be rejected because of their economic conditions, and yet the idea persists. So why not take the fang out of the snake? Why not make that argument impossible to make, thereby breaking down the first barrier of this kind of activity?
Because there will be people whose benefits can't be measured by economical scales. And if we do that, they won't be able to prove us why we should grant them citizenship, because they simply don't appear on the scale of being economically beneficial for our countries. And we believe that this is exactly working against multiculturalism, because we will take people only considering whether they know a huge bunch of stuff and they can do good jobs and get huge incomes and pay huge taxes, which we think is completely wrong, because there will be people falling out of this scale, and we should consider those as well. So what this would lead into is that we will have people migrating to our countries who are well educated, who are on the top of the societal levels, and to those who, as I said, fell off this scale, won't be near as much appreciated in the societies, but these claims coming from the far right will be just as standing because we measured you. You are not beneficial for our economy. I think I made that clear. But what this would lead into from the side of the government, we will suck up all the well-educated people from all over the world, because people will come to our country because we grant them good environment. But this is not what we want. What we want is we want to educate our own people. We want our government to have incentive to invest into education, which is clearly not the case when we can suck up all the people who are good for our economy, who will come eventually because we grant them good environment. And the second point is that these migrants will lack all emotional relations to our country, because they will come here because they know that they will have good lives here. So what will happen is that the moment we have economical deficit or decrease, they will just leave. We can't rely on these people, which will again strengthen the stereotypes of migrants and strengthen the stereotype that these migrants are not really part of our societies, because they won't integrate into our societies, because they don't have any incentive, any reason to do so. So summing up my speech, we believe that the problem does exist, and we believe that it should be dealt with, but the approach is completely wrong, as it will only strengthen these far-right extremist stereotypes, and we